So in true traditional fashion, we're recording this on a Friday. New York Comic Con. Marvel has a TV and an animation panel tomorrow. So we'll be bringing you guys all the news from that next week when we have our episode. I'm sure there's going to be some juicy details to come out of that because Marvel, especially these bigger conventions, if they don't have anything, they tend to not go.
Yeah.
I think we will get a release date for season 2 of X-Men 97.
Ooh.
Or X-Men 98, or whatever the fuck they're going to call it.
What do you call it?
I don't know. I would maybe call it 98. I don't know.
Yeah, that's difficult, right? Because 98 is more accurate, even though 97 came out last year. So with this, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't.
But also, like, they're not even in the year 1998. Because they're like back in the year of El Salvador, fucking, I don't know.
Like BC, whatever. X-Men BC 662.
Holy shit. I completely forgot about New York Comic Con.
Yeah. So, Marvel's got a panel tomorrow.
Man.
And I was listening to you and the homie Dylan's review of, episode 7 of Peacemaker while I was on the way over here. And I didn't actually realize that I chimed in the middle of you guys talking about the Peacemaker episode lengths with a text message about the length of the finale.
Yeah, you did.
This is why I am the world's greatest co-host, folks. Like, I wasn't even in the state, but I was live on the scene bringing you the updates in real time.
Yeah, you were still here even though you were not here.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And you gave us a live update about the runtime of tonight's episode that we're reviewing. That's next level shit.
It is, yeah. Mm-hmm. I was like, I had no idea that I piped this in not only while you guys were recording, but while you were talking about the episode lengths.
Yeah,
that was craziness.
I mean, what can I say? I'm impressed. I am impressed.
I also have to brag a little bit. I listened to the episode with you and the homie Lauren. Mm-hmm. You guys reviewed Wonder Woman Dead Earth. Is that?
Yes.
And it sounds dope. It sounds like I should check this out.
It is.
But she was talking about that she took me to a Hobbit party.
Uh-huh.
And they had a Lord of the Rings trivia there.
Yep.
And I won that. And you said that it was not fair that I, participated in that. Listen, I can't help it that I'm the nerdiest nerd, for one.
Okay, so that still is besides the point. That would be like if I went to a child's birthday party that was comic book themed and they had a trivia for them. No. And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll participate.
No, it's actually not like that at all because this was an adult Lord of the Rings themed party. I'm going to assume that everyone who would come to this wasn't like, okay, we came there and there was they just had weed there and they were like, it's a Hobbit party. You know what I mean? No. Everyone was in costume. Everyone was dressed Middle Earth appropriate. They had motherfucking roast chicken. Okay. I'm telling you, they had a band there that was playing not modern day instruments. They were playing literally the medieval type instruments, playing the soundtracks from the films. I'm going to assume that anyone that's at this thing knows what they are fucking talking about.
But you know what you're about.
I did know what I was about. And the craziest thing is, I didn't even bring I'm the second most Tolkien knowledgeable person in our crew. Kate wasn't even there. Yeah. The homie Kate would have. This trivia was specifically based around the films, and so we're about even.
Gotcha.
But if it had been Tolkien lore overall, she's definitely a level above me on that because I've read Lord of the Rings and Silmarillion and The Hobbit, but it's been years. I've read The Hobbit a few times. I've read Lord of the Rings once. I've read Silmarillion once. She reads Lord of the Rings every year. It would take me all year to read Lord of the Rings. Right. Not because I read slow, but because I read Tolkien slow, because it's all written in this super old English.
Yeah.
And he also spends 42 pages describing a tree or whatever. and I just can't.
Dog. So I said that I had something prepared for tonight's cold open.
You did.
And this was something that I wanted to wait to do tonight just to make sure that I had proper clearance and respect to tell said story.
I need to hear this story.
So just to lay out the groundwork here, growing up, I had a really close friend, still a really close friend. Kevin and myself all kind of came up together. So now we all live in 3 separate states, but we still keep in touch via group chat and video games. We normally get together and game once a week, Hell Divers or something. We'll find something to do and just to goof off in game and catch up with one another. But we're always really close, and this homie in particular, whose name I will exclude, he's also a really big comic book nerd, and so he'll hit me up regularly talking about who would wins or this latest comic book or whatever.
Do I know this person?
You actually have not met him,
okay, cool.
which is oddly enough, yeah. Or maybe you have and I just don't remember, but I'm pretty sure you guys have never met. But he is he's a really cool person. He's like a brother to me. But he hit up the group chat a day last week, and he sent a couple of Kevin style voice notes.
Yeah.
And that's not really like this particular homie. Like every once in a while he would, but like he sent like a series of voice notes. So I said, oh shit, let me check this out, make sure everything's good. And I'm gonna tell you the same thing he told me at the beginning of these voice notes, which is, this is gonna sound really fucking weird and like you don't want to hear this, but hear me out.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So
I especially love when a story starts this way.
He proceeds in this voice message to tell Kevin and myself that for the past several months, he and this guy on and off have been occasionally hooking up and just, having sex. I guess that's what he's been up to out there.
Which, judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone, yeah.
Yeah.
And he came out a while ago, and he knows that, yeah.
We're very slut positive here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was like, okay. I was like, you don't have to tell me this, dog, but all right.
Yeah, cool,
Yeah, that's cool. And he says that this guy, he would, come in, I guess, for a few weeks or however long he's around. They really wouldn't talk that much. They would just link up, smash, and then, like, maybe in the aftermath of it all, they might say a few things to one another. But then this guy who was smashing would leave, and then, just would continue. And so it sounds purely just like a beneficial type deal.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's like nothing serious, but they just been fucking.
It's a very clearly no strings attached situation.
Exactly, yes. Yeah. Very, very purely. And that's pretty much understood.
Yeah, I mean, those can be fantastic, or so I've heard.
There's I never had one that went swimmingly well for too long, but this isn't about.
Oh, no, they don't go well for long.
Yeah.
No.
But he says to me that he knew what this guy did for work, but he didn't think anything of it. And I will give him the benefit of the doubt for this. So this guy that my homie's been smashing, he's an actor. Okay. Now, when I hear that, and maybe when most people hear that, you may think an actor, you could be like a background person in a commercial, or you could have like a line of dialogue in an episode of Law and Order, You're still a working actor, but there's actors and then there's actors.
Yeah, my brain immediately went to like you do like a local theater thing.
Yeah. And I guess that's what my homie was also thinking. And this guy who had been smashing that told him about some things that he had been in. And ironically enough, a show came up that me, the homie Kevin, and this other homie were talking about the last time we were gaming. And I was telling them, well, you should really check this show out. And he said he's been meaning to. I was going to give him my login information so he could check it out. He just never got around to it. And so come to find out, I guess either like a day or hours before he sent me this voice note, he says that the guy who had been fucking tells him that, oh, so you're into superheroes. And my homie goes, yeah, man, actually me and a couple of my friends, like we're really big into the superhero comic book game. And the guy goes, "Oh, that's cool. Have you seen the show I'm in?" And he's like, "Well, what show was it?" And the guy says, "Oh, I'm in Peacemaker. Have you seen it?" And my homie goes, I have not seen it yet, but I was just talking with my friends about it, and they said I should check it out. Who do you play in Peacemaker?"
Oh no.
And the guy says, I play a character named Judo Master. And I was driving, like no shit. I was driving on the way back home from the gym. I had to pull over in the gas station when it got to this point in the voice note. And I sent him a message back and I said, "Bro, you've been the fucking Judo Master for the past several months and you had no idea who this was?"
You see, if it were me and I had received all of this,
Yeah.
I would have, you know me, I always have to try to one up a motherfucker. So, like, I would have tried to, like, throw this motherfucker equally off kilter, and I would have just been like, probably don't play him at Scrabble. And that's it. and just let him wonder what the fuck that's about. Like, first off, what the fuck is Scrabble?
Yeah. Like, clearly you just mispronounced that.
Yeah. Clearly this is a typo.
Yeah. So that shit absolutely blew my mind. And recently, me and Kevin, we spoke about it. I was like, "Hey, man, we can't overlook the fact that, like, our homies out here smashing Judo Master." And Kevin was like, "I know, what the fuck?" Like, it's just a sentence we never thought we string together.
I have questions, but I don't really want to ask any of them on air.
Oh, me and Kevin said the exact same thing. We have so many questions, but where to fucking start? So
this is multi-layered, multifaceted. I have so many questions. Actually, the only question that I have that I'm willing to repeat on air is, can you get him on the show? Because, like, I feel like, like, hey man, listen.
So that would be something else, but I don't want to abuse that.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. But that would be.
I mean, especially now that we've just revealed that he's, like, out here fucking, your friend.
Hey, I mean, he's got to be fucking somebody.
That's true. I guess that's true. I mean, I think it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It might be the funniest thing that ever happened. Or close.
It's definitely the most random thing to ever happen.
Yeah, it's Friday. I'm going to go against my better judgment here. I'm just going to say, I don't know your friend, but I really just hope that, like, Judo Master is this really, like, dominant top. Because I just think him, like, talking shit during sex would be hilarious.
Oh, my gosh. So, I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't want to know.
Yeah,
I will give you a few details about my friend, and hopefully that'll paint a picture. I don't know.
This is going to be amazing, folks. You tuned into the right episode.
This particular homie, whose name should not be mentioned on this broadcast, he's like, how tall is he? He's got to be at least 6'1". He's a solid build, black dude, cool people. And I don't know if there's any particular camera tricks to make Judo Master look smaller than he really is.
Right.
But that size discrepancy has got to be insane.
Yeah, I mean, the hilarious thing about that is, like, I could see that either way. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, I can see the allure of that in either direction. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very happy for both of you.
Yeah. I said, congratulations. I really didn't know where that story was going when you first started, but I didn't expect it to end here.
Yeah, I mean, I just need to borrow just a little bit of lube for this segue into something else. Anything else? Actually, I saw a thing on Reddit the other day that I meant to tell you about. And this was like, it's rare that you get a thing on Reddit that is either that is intellectually stimulating, Yeah. But somebody made a post, and I think it was actually on the Suits subreddit, but it was like, if you need a lawyer, and you either have to pick Harvey Specter or Saul Goodman, and who would you choose? And the top comment was basically the most perfect answer I could have ever articulated. The person said, "If I'm innocent, I want Harvey, but if I'm guilty, I want Saul." And I was like, "That's actually straight up."
Yeah,
I would elaborate just a tad and say, like, okay, if it's a criminal case and I'm guilty, I want Saul Goodman.
Yes.
I want Harvey for anything else. Like, if it's a real estate deal or, like, I got to get my will drawn up or, like, any of that shit, Harvey Specter all day. Assuming that someone else is paying for it. If I have to pay for it, then I only have Saul Goodman money. So I don't have Harvey Specter money.
That's true. And then, like, because I always thought about it from the aspect of if I had to choose between, like, Mac Murdock or Saul Goodman. And
I got Matt Murdock money.
Yeah, because he'll do it for free if you're innocent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if Foggy is the only one in the office, then you might not get that,
Nah.
Yeah.
If you're guilty, man, Harvey might just turn you over himself, though. He don't really... It depends on what you did.
And see, that's the thing. If you're guilty and you go to Matt, he might come back later dressed as a devil and beat your ass.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah. But I mean, really, if I had to pick like a fictional lawyer, it might be She-Hulk. Because even if I'm going to jail, I get to look at some giant green cheeks before before they ship me off.
Yeah.
You gotta think about this from the long game sometimes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, time is of the essence here, so I suppose we should go ahead and get into it.
We should. That's right, folks. We are back, and we are here tonight to review the season finale of Peacemaker Season 2.
And of course, proper introductions are in order. So, homies one and all, welcome back to another very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I am here with the world's greatest co-host. I am referring to the homie Caleb.
That's right. And I'm the world's greatest co-host because even when I'm not here, I chime in the middle of the episode with useful facts. And I review all the things, even the shit that I really don't like. And I'll be honest with you, when we sat down and said we were going to do Marvel Zombies and Peacemaker Season 2 finale this week, I was really hoping Marvel Zombies was going to be the bottom of that barrel.
And yet here we are. So we are here to discuss, as you said, the Season 2 finale of Peacemaker titled Full Nelson. And this is a full spoiler review for not just this episode of Peacemaker, but for basically the entirety of James Gunn's DCU.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen anything that you don't want to be spoiled by, then hit the pause button and go watch that and come back.
So I want to start this off by making a point here. When it comes to certain creatives, right, there is a difference between them having a signature style or a signature presence or a, signature feature to what they do. And then there is indulgence. And these are I feel like there may be a thin line between the two. But some creatives, they just leap way over that shit. And I was on the way over here thinking about this, and I was like, well, what kind of prime examples do I have? And I came up with two here that I think are very. It's very easy to see the polar opposites. Christopher Nolan is an example of the first thing there, where they've got a signature style. There will typically be something in a Nolan film where something happens out of order, right? He likes nonlinear storytelling. He's also very selective about the actors that he works with. James Gunn is very similar in that regard, right? Like James Gunn We all know he really loves working with Michael Rooker. Pretty much everybody that's in the Guardians, right? He really likes working with Cena.
Yep.
He really likes working with Nathan Fillion. People like that. He's got his people.
Apparently, Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, Bradley Cooper. Christopher Nolan, same way. We know Michael Caine, Christian Bale, Gary Oldman.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah. Before everyone wanted to work with Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that you're just gonna see in a Nolan film. He very much likes to use these big practical effect shots. He likes to take a practical effect that everybody in the industry would be like, you're just gonna have to digitize that shit, and then go, no, I can do it for realsies. And I think all of these are really cool things that Nolan does, and I don't think that they ever get in the way of the storytelling. The person I could think of that was on the opposite of that scale, towards the indulgent side, would be Hideo Kojima, right? I give you the entirety of
Death
Stranding. Yeah. His fucking obsession with what's the guy, the main character?
Norman
Reedus.
Yeah.
The fact that like in a Hideo Kojima game, there's always going to be like some really childish, like I found my like dad's porn magazine type moment. There's always going to be some really silly nonsense where like a guard or some other like serious character like pees or shits on themselves. There's always something like that in a Hideo Kojima game. Some of those things can feel signature, but there's a certain point where they begin to feel indulgent. And I bring this up with tonight's episode because I feel like James Gunn is normally more towards the Nolan side of that equation. Except for in this episode, I feel like James Gunn went on a Justin Roiland like alcohol binge and wrote and directed this episode.
Wow. So I think a little bit different from that. When I watched this episode, I didn't get indulgence. He has way too much on his plate. And I mean, because for me, when I look at this episode, right, and then I compare it to the season 1 finale, for me, there's no comparison. Like this season 2 finale, it feels like a rough draft. The whole season in retrospect feels like a rough draft. The whole season in retrospect has some good concepts, but little to no connective tissue. And it all, for me, has signs of I didn't have a pandemic to just sit down and write this whole thing out because there was nothing else to do. This feels like I am essentially running the head of a massive wing of a movie studio, and the entire creative team is kind of depending on me right now to get this thing going. And I'm gonna develop some time to this when I can, but I really need to put aside time for these other major projects. That's what this felt like to me. I wish it felt like he was indulging, because then there would be something about this finale that I could enjoy.
See, I'm there with you, but I think it's the same root cause that you're getting at, but I think it's a different problem. And I think that there might not be anybody at DC that can tell James Gunn no. I think it might actually be that. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he went to Kevin Feige and was like, hey, I want to put a 3-minute montage to a song titled "You're Fucking My Heart in the Ass," Kevin Feige would have been like, no, you can't do that.
That is true. But also, Kevin Feige would have shot down some really good ideas, too.
Kevin Feige would have shot down some really good ideas, but, like, I feel like there needed to be an adult in the room when a lot of this show was put out. And this episode in particular, I think, is the worst of the worst. Because, my chief complaint in Peacemaker Season 2 has really been mainly about the runtime. And then we get, it's going to be 57 minutes for the finale. That's the thing I chimed in with last week. Somehow, I feel like there is less substance in this finale than any other episode this season. The internet hates this thing. I don't know if you've seen this.
I've seen some. What's been oddly bizarre to me is the few specks of people I've seen try to defend this episode weekly, but they try. But to me, it's just one of those things where superhero homie rule number 10, you're allowed to love whatever you want to love. Sure. You can enjoy whatever you want to enjoy. But the caveat to that rule was and always will be, that doesn't mean that the thing you like is exempt from criticism.
Yep.
So you can't pretend, like, you can love this finale of Peacemaker Season 2, but what you can't do is pretend to not understand why everyone else seems to hate it.
Yep.
So, I don't know, man. I don't understand how the ball was dropped like this. Dylan and I, last week, we were also very concerned about how they were going to wrap this shit up because so many of the plot threads seem to have been at least somewhat concluded with episode 7. You know, Nazi role came and went in kind of a blimp. We didn't get much of it, but I guess it's done. They're setting up Keith, but Dilly and I had the same thought, which was unless they do a major time jump, Keith is going to be fucked up, and also how is he going to get over here anyway?
Right.
And, so we just didn't understand exactly what was going to be going on here. And we just get this wild left turn here in the finale. First of all, we get, honestly, maybe, 34 minutes of just kind of checking in with the characters. And the remaining runtime, we do get some things that are trying to formulate a plot, because there needs to be a new plot now.
Right.
And then they're trying to push that along. So the new plot is essentially what Rick Flag is trying to do here with this QUC and, with this fucking portal device. What's he really trying to do with this? What's he looking for? And then we figure it out. And so I kind of already got your overall thoughts, but just to reiterate, what did you think of this episode?
It's really interesting because if you remember the very first episode of this season, I was like, you know what? I fucking hate the new theme song, but I really like the episode. Other than that was really the biggest negative mark that I gave it. Mm-hmm. Now, 8 episodes later, I actually kind of like the song. It took 8 weeks, but I actually have come around on the song, but I fucking hate the episode. Listen, there's almost nothing here for me that I thought was good. I'll give you the highlights of what I thought sucked. Peacemaker's 30 plus years of trauma magically resolved by a quick pep talk with Adebayo while other team members are present.
Still Loki season 1.
Yeah, I mean, it's worse to me. It's way worse than that, in my opinion.
It's about the same for me, but I get it, though.
Well, I think that a lot of that comes from, like, what Loki as a character is just very different from Chris. Mm-hmm. And I think what Adebayo says to him is really legitimate and eye-opening. And, like, I thought it was a great line and a great point that she made. But, like, this episode is not interested in Christopher Smith. He doesn't give a fuck about him.
He's not in it that much.
He's barely in it, yeah. I hated the miraculous Rick Flag Sr. heel turn.
Right.
That makes no goddamn sense. I mean, this is like the worst of the worst of the worst of the MCU level decision making for the character. Rick Flag worked hand in hand with metahumans in Creature Commandos.
Yeah.
His son wasn't killed by metahumans.
Right.
Fucking, he was all for Superman. Mm-hmm. Where's the fucking metahuman racism coming from?
Yeah, he was like the logical, morally upright person in comparison to the people who he'd be in the room with. So if he's in the room with Amanda Waller, he's going to listen to some of the insane shit that she says, and then he's going to be like, okay, how do I take that and then make it right? Right. That was Rick Flag. And I was okay with a lot of the decisions that Rick was making earlier in the season because he's grief stricken.
Sure.
And he's not a perfect man. he didn't do anything that I didn't think he could come back from. He couldn't come back from.
Right.
But now, like, he's just, he's full on heel. Like, how is a man like Rick Flag Sr. just like that under the thumb of Lex Luthor, who is still incarcerated?
It was really crazy to me how this played out because, like, they just took his character and threw it right under the bus for this plot point that I don't think anybody really cares for, to be honest with you. But I mean, like, I like Rick Flag Sr. under the guise of, like, he is trying to do the right thing. However, this motherfucker killed my son.
Yeah.
So I will cross the line to fuck him up. I was fine with that because it's believable, right? It's absolutely believable that, you know, somebody murdered your kid. Okay, like, that is a reason why you would cross the line. Got it. We're cool. I don't know where that guy is. He must have went through maybe they accidentally swapped him with, like, the Nazi Rick Flag Sr. I don't know, but I don't know where that character came from. He has metahumans on his staff.
Yep.
I mean, even I don't. Is that the Secretary of Defense they meet with at the end?
I believe so.
Yeah. Even he's like, Rick.
Yeah.
just a few months ago, we were sitting here in this room, and you're telling me about, like, how dangerous this shit that Lex Luthor is talking about is. Where is all this shit coming from? And, like, he doesn't answer him because there's no logical answer for it.
Yeah.
Unless it comes out later that, like, Lex did some shit to him when they met, you know, like, I don't know, he fucking hit him with, like, a mind control ray or
right. that he built
yeah. in his cell with a box of scraps.
With a box of scraps.
Yeah. Then, I mean, sure, all right, but they should have showed us that here. But it's like, he's just mindlessly sacrificing Argus agents, people that he works with every day. For what? I mean, yeah, okay, like, I'm sure Lex was like, oh, yeah, Peacemaker, fuck him. Like, you can lock him in this, like, you know, when we find, you know, prison world, we can lock him in there. Just fucking shoot him in the head. If you're willing to break every law imaginable, just kill him.
Right.
Don't go through all this.
And the other thing about this whole situation is this, and I have to imagine that James Gunn has to be more than aware of what he's doing. Like, this has to be done on purpose. I'm still going to give James Gunn the benefit of the doubt. And that is, the whole reason why Rick Flag Jr. was killed is because he was about to expose all the human rights violation that Argus was allowing to be done.
Right.
And then Amanda Waller gave the word to Peacemaker, hey, this can't get out, so do what you got to do.
Yep.
And that resulted in Rick Flag Jr. dying. He died trying to expose all of the violations that were happening to people there on that island.
Yep.
And now look at Senior. Rick Flag Sr. is committing a lot of those same atrocities that his son died trying to expose.
Absolutely.
So, again, I have to hope that that is done on purpose on James Gunn's part and that that's not some severe oversight.
Well, you know, James Gunn also said, oh, we're not going to be like the MCU and our stories are going to be self-contained, blah, blah. And I'm not saying that, like, I need that. I actually really don't want that. I don't consider that a problem with the MCU in the way that many seem to, or that, okay, Kevin Feige and some news outlets think that is the problem. I actually think the problem is that they don't do enough of that anymore. I feel like everything leading up to Endgame actually was highly connected. And then ever since then, we get these little stories that really don't move the overarching plot forward at all. And that's where our problem is over in MCU land. Yeah, if you want to require people to watch She-Hulk to find out, you know, what's going to happen in your Avengers movie, obviously you don't want that. But that's just a symptom of you making shit that people don't want to watch. That's problematic whether it ties into something else or not.
Yeah.
Relate that to over here. This is like not self-contained at all. This is literally just a Superman 1.5, like, to an extent. This whole season seems to be built to show off some sort of Salvation Run attempt or build up for Man of Tomorrow.
I mean, yeah, it's straight up Salvation Run.
Yeah.
I mean, for those of you who don't know, Salvation Run is a a story in the comic that is a lead up to Countdown to Final Crisis, that is. And I was like, holy shit, like, are we really going to do something related to the Salvation, Planet Salvation?
And I don't think that it was super well received either. Well, the actual comic run.
It was no, it was received okayly.
Okay.
You know, I don't think it wasn't anything to like write home about, but it wasn't like anything that was, you know, it wasn't anything bad. It was definitely an interesting concept, you know, just the idea. And by the way, in the comics, it was the president wanted to come up with a solution to deal with all these goddamn violent, evil metahumans. And Amanda Waller was like, "Well, I can come up with something."
Yeah.
So it was Amanda who, and you can see this being in her wheelhouse. She worked with Rick Flag. Obviously, I think it was Junior, because Senior, I think at this point had been passed, but it was Junior, and Junior's always kind of working with like 50% of the information that he needs.
Right.
You know what I mean? But no, they put a bunch of these metahumans on this planet. Which the name Salvation, and it had like a bunch of natural resources to their knowledge, didn't have any kind of predators or anything. It was just a place where these prisoners could live in harmony. And
however, as it turns out, this was a Desaad war world.
Yeah, Desaad, who is a general of Darkseid. This is like a training ground for him, and so it was not the peaceful paradise they thought it was.
He was happy.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, oh, look at all these new toys.
This is great.
Yeah. Oh shit. What's ironic is that if I remember correctly, in the comic books, like, yeah, Lex Luthor was there.
Yep. And like,
Joker, yeah. And I think it's really like Lex and Vandal Savage who like work together to figure out a way to get off that fucking planet. But yeah, so
because in that one, they just like boom tubed them there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, you got way less of a chance. At least this door got to open at some point.
Yeah, yeah. But it's like Rick Flag Sr. said in the finale, like they can open up the portal anywhere.
Yeah,
you know. And maybe, who knows? Maybe in James Gunn's DCU, that is a version of a boom tube. Who knows?
Do you think, based on the information that we got here, that Desaad will be the villain in Man of Tomorrow?
Ooh.
And not Brainiac, as many of us have speculated.
That would be interesting. Man, I got to think on that one. Yeah, if they got Desaad, that would be cool.
Now, they could always still use Brainiac.
Yeah.
Like, they could always twist this into a thing where he's like doing some like Sid from Toy Story shit, where Brainiac is just like, I'm going to pick two creatures from my menagerie and put them on this planet and watch them fight. Yeah. That's some shit Brainiac would do.
Oh, yeah. For science, of course.
Yeah, for science. Yeah. So, I mean, there's clearly already some predators here of some type. I mean, there's a lot of directions they could go with this. But I do think it would be interesting if they went ahead and brought out Desaad. And that's certainly a villain that Superman and Lex could be needed to go up against.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think it'd be cool if they brought out a few of Darkseid's generals. Just leave Darkseid out of it for now. You know, I think Granny Goodness is right up James Gunn's alley.
Yes.
I would love to see Granny Goodness.
Is it? Aren't like Granny Goodness and Desaad like right under Darkseid? Mm-hmm. And then there's like... And then it's like Steppenwolf and all those guys are under
Steppenwolf and Metron, the guy who sits on the Mobius chair. Yeah, and then like beneath them is like Darkseid's kid, Kalibok.
Yeah.
Who Darkseid doesn't give a fuck about his kids.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that, right? Who would have thought? But I mean, that would be really interesting to like if we saw some of the generals show up. If for no other reason, what the fuck are they doing on my battle world, on my test planet? See, and the other thing is this, right? As of now, there are currently no plans for a Peacemaker season 3.
Right.
So if you watch this show to its finality, you're gonna be like, well, what the fuck? So we're gonna see Peacemaker again. Obviously, if we don't, then this is just a big what the fuck.
No, I think we will. I think James Gunn has basically just confirmed, like, yeah, you're going to see Peacemaker again. Because he said he really loves the characters, which is why I didn't think that he was going to die. I got to say, though, John Cena is not in this a lot, but, like, his acting skills have gone way the fuck up. Because, like, when he is on the screen, he is killing it in this episode. I can at least give him that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that a few characters did really well with what they had.
Oh, Adebayo.
Yeah, I was going to say Adebayo for me, like, she really nailed it here.
The scene with her and her wife was amazing, but, like, they barely got anything this season.
Yeah, I know. I think they had, one other scene?
Yeah, it's basically like, we're going to check in with her wife, and then a few things will happen in conversation, and then they have another scene at the end.
And that scene that we got with them in episode 8 seems like it was going to be their last.
Also, yeah, I mean, I also think it's odd that Adebayo does not mention once that she was chased by a horde of motherfucking Nazis.
Yeah, but that's a long story that you have to unfold. And if you have something you really want to get off your chest,
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell it later.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, a bunch of super Nazis tried to hunt me down.
They weren't that super.
That's true.
They were dumb as fuck.
They were. One of them was super.
Yeah. One of them was super.
Thankfully, he left.
Yeah, all the rest of them were dumb as a sack of rocks. They were basically like the ones we have in our world.
Yeah, very similar.
Fox is the only news they have, like, at all. Yeah. It's just the only channel at all, actually.
It's the only channel, of course. Oh boy. Oh man. Fucking Alex Jones, he's thriving over there, I'm sure, with it.
Oh god, yeah. He's probably like just below like Captain Triumph and all them. You know. He's like that guy from V for Vendetta that's like the famous like late night guy or whatever. He's like that.
He's definitely that. Spewing a bunch of nonsense that didn't even make sense.
Just all day, every day.
Yeah, all day, every day. Yeah.
Not too different from how this version. It's just over there. It's probably differently received.
Yeah. You know, it's a lot closer to Idiocracy the more that we describe it.
You know, the Alex Jones in that universe has the stash. He's got to have the stash.
I'm surprised that's not like a more popular thing.
Yeah, like that. Like more people don't. Maybe it's kind of like maybe it's a thing where you don't do it.
It's a deification.
Yeah. Maybe it's kind of like it's you don't do it out of a form of respect.
Right. That I get that. Yeah.
It's either that or it just would have been way too obvious to the audience. Right. You know.
Or what if like that was another thing that Hardcore pointed out to Peacemaker, like and every dude has a Hitler mustache.
like if when we had seen it from Peacemaker's point of view, they hadn't had them, and then Hardcore was like, "What about this?" And like they just just basically retconned it.
He's like, "I thought it was the Michael Jordan."
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's hilarious.
Man, so Rick Flag Sr., does he or does he not give a fuck about Peacemaker? Because let's go back a few episodes, he captures Peacemaker, beats the shit out of him, and then because of like, a bullshit, fucking fine print, he's got to let him go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, whatever. And I was like, well, that's weird. You gave up pretty easily for someone who you had this hate boner for. And then here, he gets him again, and he's locked up. And then he just post bail, and he gets out. And I'm like, so you really don't care that much? Unless his plan the whole time was to find this perfect planet that could be a prison just to put him there.
So I also just want to point out that Adebayo and Harcourt, when they're trying to find him using the thing in his head, it's the thing that Amanda Waller put there, right? The tracker? Mm-hmm. Okay. So why did Argus spend 3 motherfucking episodes of this season looking for him if they just can track the thing in his head? Yeah.
I assumed, before this episode, that like all those had been deactivated.
Me too.
I guess not.
Yeah, it is a massive gaping plot hole. That I mean, I'm gonna be honest. After this episode, so like when they hired James Gunn to take over the DCU, you know, I said repeatedly like, look, I have a lot of skepticism about this fucking Superman movie, but James Gunn has some credit with me. Superman came out, it was amazeballs. I love it. I've probably seen it 9 times. Fucking fantastic. But I will say that as of this season finale, we're square, James Gunn. You're out of credit. All right, your account balance is 0. So whatever the fuck you churn out next, it's gonna have to have a little something on it. Because it can't be this shit.
It can't be. Like, all of his focus has got to be on. I was gonna say on Man of Tomorrow, but Supergirl is next. You know.
Well, somebody else is thankfully writing and directing that.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
And they're already shooting it, so the script is done.
Which is, I mean, and here's the crazy thing about that. James Gunn would have been perfect to do Woman of Tomorrow.
Right.
But here we are.
Not after watching this shit.
No. A fully focused, I ain't got shit else to do, James Gunn would have been perfect for Woman of Tomorrow.
I think James Gunn, after this, I don't even think he should direct Man of Tomorrow. If he does, it should be the only thing he directs in their phase 2. I don't know. Chapter 2, I guess.
Well, because the phase 1 is all gods and monsters.
Yeah, but they had it broken up into chapters also.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. I don't know. I'm less worried about Woman of Tomorrow as I am. What's the name of the sequel?
Man of Tomorrow.
Man of Tomorrow. That's like it can't be Man of Tomorrow.
It is
Man of Tomorrow.
It is Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, the creative juices are really flowing over there.
Flowing big time.
Well, I don't think the Supergirl movie is actually called Woman of Tomorrow.
It's just based on Woman of Tomorrow?
I think it's just called Supergirl.
Okay.
It's just based on Woman of Tomorrow.
Got it.
Yeah, because like Superman was just called Superman. So I think with Supergirl, it's just going to be Supergirl.
Yeah. So it looks like we're getting, well, not getting, we already got Checkmate.
Yeah.
And this was interesting.
Was it?
In concept.
Because I think they didn't tell us anything about Checkmate.
They told us 0 about it. So it's interesting in the same way that Salvation is interesting, like in concept only. And if you have the context, you know, but on face value of it all, no, it's not interesting. It's just a thing.
I feel like maybe we could have used one less glam rock concert and then gotten some details about.
That would have been phenomenal.
Because like the random Nelson concert was completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
It really wasn't even necessary for you to have the second concert performing the actual theme song, but I at least kind of enjoyed that.
Yeah, and by the way, that was also a big swing by James Gunn because it took some time for people to come around to the song.
Agreed. Yeah, and
I'm like, you're gonna have a full on concert for it. All right.
I did enjoy Harcourt's drunk white girl dance.
Yeah. It was almost as entertaining as John Cena's "I Don't Know What I'm Doing" white guy dance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about Checkmate here is that I don't know if the next big thing we're gonna see is a Checkmate TV series. Like, I wonder if they're gonna just take the Waller show they had planned and make that into a Checkmate series.
Maybe.
What would have been better instead of some of those concert montages would have been if we had gotten to see how some of these people had been recruited into Checkmate.
Yeah, Judo Master's just hanging out.
Yeah, Judo Master. I mean, don't get me wrong. You want a Judo Master on your team.
And then what's the android chick from?
Yeah, you get Sasha Bordeaux.
Yeah,
who was actually in Checkmate in the comic books. So I mean that checks out.
Well, we got there. God damn it. They just need to go dig up the engineer.
Yeah, where the fuck she is. We got Flurry. I was worried that in the beginning of the episode, I thought Flurry was maybe going to bite it.
I thought so too.
I was going to be so upset.
when they went into the magical imp land or whatever, I was like, oh no. Mm-hmm. When they opened the door and it like panned out over the place, I was like, nope. And then I was like, well, Harcourt's with them. They might live.
Mm-hmm. And then like two of them, one guy got his face
eaten off.
Yeah.
By tiny imps.
Right. Fuck that, bro. Yeah, dog. Why couldn't they at least send in a rover first to check it out?
Right.
Like, do you have to send in human bodies to these lands?
I like how they just opened up the one and there was like the fucking spider skeleton dudes.
The hellscape.
And they were like, nah.
And they were just going to close this one up.
Yeah. Surely they're going to put like some lasers or some at least some boards over the Nazi door, right?
Yeah, or something. They should do that for a lot of these doors.
Yeah, actually. Pretty much all of them.
All of them, yeah. There's like a zombie world. Like, nope, get out of there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd have shot that motherfucker immediately too.
Oh, he wouldn't have came back through the door.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I'd have been like, no, dog.
You got to go. Yeah, man. Like, there's just really not a whole lot of substance to this episode. I mean, so the thing about Checkmate, guys, is that, like, depending on which incarnation you go, which, looking at James Gunn, I have to assume that his version of Checkmate is going to be based on, like, the original late 80s run, because that's the version of actual Lord he's using.
Right.
It's like the OG version. So, yeah, Checkmate was just like another organization that it's like high intel, covert type, missions that they will go on. Not a bad organization to have. It's just going to be, what are they going to be used for in this context here? Amanda Waller obviously isn't like involved in this. The more recent incarnation of Checkmate had Maxwell Lord as the head of it, actually. But again, I don't think that they'll go that direction. James Gunn is definitely familiar with that storyline. He referenced it in like a previous interview, but I don't think that they're going to go that way. So I don't know. We have to also wonder, at what point then will we see the Justice Gang?
Yeah, where were they through all of this shit?
I will give them somewhat the benefit of the doubt and say that why would they know about half of this that's going on?
I think Mr. Terrific should know.
I think if he's looking for it, he will. Like, for example, like, you've seen the Superman movie more times than I have, but I don't think that he was aware about the portals until someone made mention of it to him, right?
Yeah, but now that he knows that Lex has done this shit, you think he would be like actively scanning for this kind of thing, I would assume.
Yeah, but I guess him being that smart, though, he could also assume that, well, someone have to be at least Lex Luthor intellect or me intellect to do something like this. And ain't nobody else out there unless that Bruce Wayne motherfucker want to start opening portals.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely intrigued to see how things go from here. I think there's no point in no return for Rick Flag Sr. I'll be honest, at this point, I probably would just drop the Argus storyline entirely because you've kind of ruined his character at this point.
You really have. Like, at this point, what's the difference between having him and Amanda Waller?
Well, I like Frank Grillo, but I'd much rather have Viola Davis. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, I get that, but
and I honestly don't think Waller would have been this stupid.
No, well, Waller. I was gonna say Waller wouldn't do something for like petty vendetta, but she has.
Yeah, I think Waller would have played more hardball with Lex in the first place.
Yeah, for sure.
Because she would have been like, "I'm holding all the cards here."
Yeah.
So like, you can go back to your cell, or you can help me out and I'll help you a little bit. But clearly, this is going to lead to Lex just getting out.
I think it's got to.
Because Rick Flag is literally working with all his fucking henchmen.
Yeah. Like, him and like Happerson was like patting him on the back and they're all buddy-buddy now.
Also, I hated Economos in this episode. Like, I really loved Economos this whole season, but I just thought that in this episode, it was just cringe. Like, and I know that his scenes are supposed to be cringe to an extent, but here it was just over the line. Like, it wasn't...
When he's trying to make, like, the jokes or distraction.
Yeah. It was dumb as hell. Like, it just wasn't realistic at all, you know?
Yeah. Like, the only part of that I like was, like, the second post-credit scene.
Yes.
When he's telling, like, another stupid joke. And then this one lady just starts dying laughing.
Yeah, that scene was great. They should have just left that in.
Yeah, that one actually got me.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
How the fuck come Eagly didn't use any of his powers?
Any of his powers. Yeah. And that's another thing, right? Listen, James, I'm still on your side, man. I am still a massive fan. As far as I'm concerned, you only have 2 strikes on your movie, on your like film projects, film and TV projects, you know. Guardians 2 and Peacemaker season 2. Maybe everything just 2. You know, he has a problem.
He's just bad with 2. Yeah. Maybe that's why we're gonna do Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And not call it Superman 2.
What if it's Man of number 2 Morrow?
Oh no. No. I swear to God, if you fan 4-stick that shit, I will use my get out of jail free card on Superman 2 if you do that shit.
Oh no. What was I gonna say here? Yeah, there's just not a whole lot of meat on the bone of this entire season.
Yeah, and especially not this finale.
No.
You know, I'm gonna rabbit hole us here, man. But when you said the tomorrow thing, that made me think about that cringe as fuck scene in Legends of Tomorrow where they send Gorilla Grodd back to kill Barack Obama.
Yeah.
So that shit was on John Oliver this week because apparently that shit is actually getting put into his presidential library.
Dog, so the first time I saw that, like, I had stopped watching Legends of Tomorrow way before that happened.
Yeah, that's probably a good call.
I saw like the first couple episodes of Legends of Tomorrow and I was like, I think I'm good. But the first time I saw that clip was just like on social media. I thought someone just doctored that shit.
Nope.
Like I seriously thought that, that's funny. I see what they're doing. I didn't think that CW really had a plot line where Gorilla Grodd goes back in time to kill President Obama. Like, how do you even come up with that shit?
Like nobody was gonna notice a ginormous gorilla just walking around fucking like 1995 Chicago.
Right. And I was wondering, has Obama seen that? And if so, what does he think about it?
He has to have seen it. I'm assuming he had to okay it going into his library.
Yeah. Oh shit. That's fantastic. In like the worst way. Okay, yeah.
DC tomorrow. It got me off thinking about all this shit.
Oh yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, so I don't know what happens next. No one does, to be honest. But some people are speculating that we will get a Checkmate TV series. I mean, clearly we're gonna have to get something. While Peacemaker might be in Man of Tomorrow, I don't think he'd be like a pivotal part of it.
I think he will be in the movie. I think we're gonna see him in more DCU movies. I gotta say though, man, I really hope that after the public reception of this finale, that James Gunn will pivot a little bit because people really hate this. I really hate this. Mm-hmm. I have seen some people online say that they like it, but I think like in an overwhelming way, it's not like it's divisive where it's like 50-50. No. It's more like 90-10.
Yeah.
This episode and really this season of TV, because if you fuck up the finale, you're really fucking up the whole thing end to end in a lot of cases. And that's kind of where we're at. You know, the first couple episodes, we got all this, all this kind of build up and lead in and like cameos and all this other stuff to make us think that we were getting into something grander. Whereas pretty much everything just devolved into A big old nothing burger.
Yeah.
A big belly nothing burger.
Yeah, this is a big belly nothing burger. Yeah. If I had to find like a list of things that I liked about this episode, I would have to stoop down to being like, they put Big Belly Burger in here.
Yeah.
You know? I'm going to need James Gunn to maybe spend a little less time online. He spent a lot of time hyping up shit that should not have been hyped up.
Correct.
The whole, oh my gosh, the last 3 episodes they're just going to blow your mind away or whatever he said.
Weren't shit.
Yeah. Yeah. There were some cool things that happened at like 6.
Yeah, I'll be honest, from the moment we got the Nazi reveal, it's pretty much been downhill from there. Which, I guess that tracks. But
boy, James Gunn is playing 4D chess.
Yeah, he really is, yeah.
But I mean, let's be honest here, man. This show or this season, it's just a bunch of loose concepts.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, there is no cohesive storyline with like any real through line here. It's just a bunch of concepts that are loosely strung together, and then a finale that doesn't truly even really match the rest of the season.
And they just occasionally remember that, oh, Peacemaker has a bunch of trauma, or, Adebayo's got problems with her wife, or, Harcourt, is got some serious fucking mental shit to deal with.
Toxic masculinity. Bro.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other thing is like this. If someone were to ask you what was season 1 of Peacemaker about, you could say, oh, well, it's about, the leftovers from Argus who got in trouble with the Suicide Squad movie shit. They're working with Peacemakers out of the hospital, and there's these fucking butterflies, alien butterflies that are taking over people. Now they're trying to work together to stop the shit. And a bunch of really cool shit happens along the way. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end to that story.
Yeah.
And with a really solid finale. If someone were to ask you what is season 2 of Peacemaker about, I don't fucking know, man. There's a Nazi world, and then there's Rick Flag. He's mad. And
it's about Nazis and portals.
Yeah. Yeah. It's narratively speaking, this plot doesn't really go anywhere.
No. I mean, it's when you sit down and look at it, man, it's honestly disappointing, like how much a lot of these characters, have going for them, and then they don't. Mm-hmm. I mean, Flurry was going to be a really important character.
Yeah.
By the end of this, he's really nothing. He barely even gets any dialogue in here.
Titties is back though.
Yeah, Titties is back.
I'm glad that she's okay.
They barely even did anything. Like they never even paid off on the bird blindness. I
know. Someone pointed out, like, what if he's in Man of Tomorrow, and because of his bird blindness, he's the one that says, "Oh, look, it's a bird."
Yeah, for Superman.
Yeah,
that would be hilarious.
It would be. But he is coming back in some capacity at least. So
right.
At least there's that. I can only assume that the reason that we could be pivoting from Peacemaker, which is one TV show, to potentially another TV show is to make it feel bigger.
Maybe.
I mean, if that's the case, then they really have to bring it, because right now, man, like, Peacemaker just feels like a bunch of leftover scraps.
There's only 2 Peacemaker fight scenes in this entire season.
I thought it was low.
One of them is when he's fighting the Sons of Liberty.
Yep.
The good guys. And then the other one is when he fights Judo Master in the woods.
Yeah.
That's it. Mm-hmm. I don't count the fight with Rick Flag Sr. where it's just Rick Flag Sr. beating the ever-loving shit out of him.
Yeah, that wasn't really it takes 2 people to throw at least one punch for it to be a fight.
And I'm not like a action junkie, like, oh my God, this has to be Fast and the Furious, whatever. I actually really would hate that. But like, he's a superhero. He should probably do some superhero shit.
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
At least a little bit.
I don't think we actually see him. Do we actually see him in costume at all, other than when he's hanging out with his Nazi dad and brother?
Nope.
We see the Nazi Peacemaker.
We see Nazi Peacemaker in his suit. Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't really know how this thing went so wrong. And that was very patient with this season of television, too.
He should have taken the peace cycle at least.
I think he wanted to, but he really wasn't in a position to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The peace cycle was dope.
It was dope.
Say what you want about Nazi Peacemaker, but he had a cool motorcycle.
What would have been clever is that, like, looking at that bike, I'm not a motorcycle kind of guy, so I don't know. But,
Same.
like, that looked like an American bike, which makes some kind of sense, but it would have been made more sense had it been like a Volvo or, like some kind of weird VW, motorcycle. That just would have been an interesting touch. Anywho, there's just a bunch of shit that, as intriguing as it is, just honestly goes nowhere. It's like, I think I said this to Dylan last week. If you take out all of the Red Saint Wild and Eagly shit, it doesn't change anything.
Nope.
Doesn't change anything. It's like Marco Rooker was like, "Hey man, I'm bored. You got anything?" And James Gunn was like, "Sure, I can write up something real quick."
And it would be fine if this was 12 hours of television.
Yeah.
And even then, maybe we would have actually got some time to breathe on some of these character moments and shit. But, like, we just skip right over everything. It's like we're watching an outline being filmed and not an actual TV show.
Yeah.
And the finale is the worst example of that.
And this goes without saying for me, but I would have much rather preferred this season be a Daredevil Born Again than this. Because with Daredevil Born Again, it was 8 episodes. If it was 8 episodes, I was thoroughly entertained for 7 of them. And, I can't say that for Peacemaker.
I thought Born Again was 10.
It might have been 10.
Either way, I liked
10.
everything but the finale.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I liked the finale up until I realized it wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. There were even things in the finale that I liked.
Oh, yeah, the team up with Punisher.
Oh, my gosh.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There is nothing in this season that's really on that level. I mean, even the Justice Gang cameo is really just a gag,
Yeah, it was just a gag, and I thought that they were going to come back in some kind of meaningful way, like they did at the end of season 1.
The fucking, yeah, exactly like they did in the season 1. The Superman social media photo, red herring, bullshit.
Yep, meant nothing. We were both so wrong about Superman showing up in this finale. And I just, it really grinds my gears when people online say, why were so many people expecting like this big cameo in the finale? I don't get it. Like, there's nothing to dictate that we should expect anything like that. Just trying
False.
Yeah.
If we had just Mephisto'd it out of nowhere, sure. But James Gunn is the one that hyped all this bullshit up.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be like if when WandaVision was coming out, if Kevin Feige was like, "Oh man, you guys are gonna have a devil of a time with the next episode," and we're like, "Oh my gosh, Kevin Feige just confirmed it."
Yeah, right, exactly.
But that's not what happened.
We aren't even gonna let critics see this next episode because it is raging hot with the fires of hell.
Like, all right, Chris, that's a little much.
Yeah, can we maybe tone it back just a little bit?
You don't want to miss this next episode.
And then he's not in it. Yeah. Maybe like 8 years from now or whatever, we'll get an actual plot for Peacemaker. Like we got Mephisto.
Yeah, like we finally got Mephisto. But Peacemaker, to equate it, Peacemaker will show up in something random like...
Yeah.
I don't even know. In a fucking Booster Gold.
Oh, shit. It's a Nightwing TV show.
Yeah. He just shows up randomly there. Yeah.
Is Bloodhaven? And now we know why they say it that way.
Now we know why they say it like that.
But you think it's patrolled by like a Nazi, like Nightwing, Nazi wing,
Nazi wing? Oh no. Man, that is the thing, right? So we know that Bloodhaven does exist in Nazi universe.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, man. Like, okay, so do Nazis believe in the circus? There's a lot of questions we have to ask.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, probably. I assume that said circus is probably a little different.
Yeah.
But sure, probably.
Okay. Well, there's a chance then.
Yeah.
If the Waynes were still, like good people, then they were probably they were murdered. Anyway, I was gonna say then they probably got murdered, but that's par for the course.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what a Nazi Batman would look like.
I mean, I think Batman probably would be working with the Sons of Liberty. So
that's true. Yeah.
The Nazi wing is the one from Dark Knight.
Oh no, Strikes Again.
Strikes Again. Yeah. Yeah.
Jeez.
Fuck that.
Man,
nonsense.
I mean, I don't want to be so cruel to this season because there are some things that I did enjoy, but a loose comparison from season 1 to season 2 of Peacemaker is kind of like The Dark Knight Returns versus Dark Knight Strikes Again.
Oh, you're not wrong. I wish you were, but you're not. Well, man, let's score this thing and we can wrap it up. B.
Let's score the episode and then the season.
I think you went first last time.
Yep.
Oh boy. Okay. Folks, I didn't enjoy this. I could sit here and try to spin you some bullshit about how much I did enjoy it, but I did not. The things that I found that I liked positively about this episode are few and far between. And then, on top of that, I think that the episode harms the season as a whole. So if I look at the season of Peacemaker, I really enjoyed it when it was doing all the setup. Wasn't sure where it was going. As the season went on, I found out that neither was James Gunn. And I'm still not sure, and I don't think he is either. So I'm going to give the season finale of Peacemaker a 3 out of 10. This was abysmal. I think I ranked the last season of Umbrella Academy around this same area because it was enraging, all of it. I still found things in that final season that I really enjoyed. It was just overall a rage fest, and I wish they never made it. This, I don't quite wish they never made it, but I do wish that I hadn't wasted my time and energy playing into James Gunn, hyping it up week after week, just for it to end up being incredibly skippable. Despite the fact that they tried really hard to just make it tie in. It's like we got the worst of both worlds, right? It's like, okay, well, either you want it to be essential viewing for the DCU, which they really shouldn't do because of the R-rated content, in my opinion, or you want it to be this really cool standalone thing, but it's skippable. It's both. It's like this thing is completely, totally uninterested in telling the story of the titular character. It is instead obsessed with setting up future DCU nonsense for James Gunn, and yet is at the same time completely skippable. Like, if somebody asked me about it right now, like, hey, should I watch this? I'd be like, not really, no. I mean, if you just really are into Peacemaker, like if you loved season 1, like, okay, this is a cool, like, thing for you to watch, or you're just craving more DCU, like I think all of us are, sure, go ahead, but, like, set your expectations really low. So I'm giving the season finale 3 out of 10. The season as a whole, I am going to give the season as a whole a 4.5 out of 10. I cannot give it above the 5 mark. It just is not. It's not there. It's like you threw a bunch of concepts at me and never followed up really on any of them. And if you did follow up, then it was more of a light switch instead of a journey. You spent 5 episodes building up Nazi World just for us to have a 30-minute field trip over there and not really even get to see anything. and then it was gone faster than it even showed up. By the end of episode 8 here, by the finale, nobody even really talks about it.
Nope.
So there you have it.
I was just reminded, during your scoring of kind of a funny comment. As I thought it was quite funny that someone commented on one of our posts. It was about it was a clip of us talking about a previous episode of Peacemaker and about how dangerous and badass Blue Dragon must be, because look at how he took down Economos without even looking. Look at how they worked together to take out the kaiju thing. And a few days ago, someone posted, "Oh man, well that aged poorly," because of just how easily he was taken down by Vigilante. I was like, yeah, that's kind of the whole season here, for being honest. How there's things that happen in this season that make me think that, oh man, this can really be something cool, really something unique and special.
We got hardly any Vigilante in the finale.
Oh yeah,
he is we didn't really talk about him. He is predictably great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He has probably the only great line in the finale, other than what Adebayo actually says to Chris, is when he's like, I'm playing, was it Princess Peach Showtime? Yeah. I'm playing Princess Peach Showtime, and if you think it's easy because it's about a girl, it's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's what he said, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what game is that? Is that a game?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And my other question is, was that a Switch he had?
Yeah.
Okay. Because, the white handle's that looks like a fucking portal. You can't play that on a portal. But anywho, this finale is a far cry from season 1 finale. And this season is a far cry from season 1.
Yeah, the Justice Gang didn't show up.
Justice Gang didn't show up. Yeah. Come on. So, everything you said about this finale, I pretty much agree with. I'm a little bit softer on this than you are, but not by a lot. I think that the acting here is tremendous, and I really, really, really wish that we had a solid explanation for Rick Flag Sr.'s heel turn, because I think that Frank Grillo did some really good work here. I just wish that it made sense so that I could buy into it more, because his actual acting here I think was great.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that it comes out of nowhere, and you just have to kind of buy it. And if you guys say, oh man, he's been this dickbag this whole episode, we explained previously why that's different from what this is.
Yep.
A personal vendetta is different from, let me open up a fucking prison planet to just dump people on that's completely unconstitutional and just forget about them,
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
And then also, I'm going to sacrifice a bunch of Argus agents to help Lex Luthor find it.
Exactly, yeah. None of that tracks. I don't see Rick Flag doing any of that. Again, like you said earlier, Caleb, watch Creature Commandos and tell me that's the same character. It is not.
No way in hell.
It's not. So, yeah, it's just so weird how that is. Sasha Bordeaux being a cyborg is completely pointless. Something else we didn't really talk about, because it just has no point, no reason to be. It just is. All right, she's a cyborg. It means nothing in the finality of this show. But if that were the greatest of this show's problem, then it'd be in great sitting. But the problems persist with this show, that it doesn't have a real plot. It's just got concepts that have no structure and little to no payoff. I'm going to give this finale a 4.9 out of 10. I think that it is almost, for me, it is almost as good as it is bad, but it's still a little bit more bad than good. For the season, this season took me on the world's worst roller coaster. Like, I'm not a roller coaster guy, but
So he doesn't even like the good ones.
yeah, I don't even like the good ones. But if I were feeling daring, imagine getting on a roller coaster that has like the slowest build up, and you're like, this is taking forever to get up to the peak. But then once you get to that peak, you're like, oh shit, here we go. And then it's like a 3-foot drop, and then you're back leveled out again. That's kind of what this season was. You know, just like a bunch of build up, and then just like with some of the worst payoffs. This season, man, it just wasn't that enjoyable. The short run times combined with the filler episodes, combined with the lack of a truly structured plot, I can't get jiggy with this. And I need to get jiggy with my TV shows. I can't get jiggy with this shit.
Can't get jiggy with this shit.
But there were a lot of really good moments in this season. There were a lot of moments that made me laugh along the way. There were a lot of moments in this show that I thought made me not hate the journey. That's what I'm trying to say. As much as I scratched my head at the Red Saint Wild shit, it was still hilarious. Eagly being the fucking, what is he?
The Prime Eagle.
The Prime Eagle. We don't know what that means.
Yeah, we don't know.
But he is. All right.
Well, we actually don't know that. He could have just still been tripping off that fucking peyote or
That's
whatever.
True. Yeah. The little bit of time that we spent in Nazi World was, I don't want to say a great time. It was entertaining to watch. There we go. Should we have been there more? Absolutely. Considering that we had a 5-episode build up to the shit.
Right.
But the time that we spent there, I thought was overall pretty. It was fun while we were there. It just wasn't long. We just didn't get to do much. It's like going to Disney just to visit the gift shop, but then you have to turn around and leave. Yeah, I'm gonna give this season. I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
There you have it.
There you have it, folks. That is our review, our thoughts, our feelings on the totality of Peacemaker Season 2. Caleb, when we started reviewing Peacemaker Season 2, did you think in any universe it would end up like this?
No. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Not in my wildest, I was going to say dreams, but not in my wildest nightmares did I think it was going to end up like this. This shit will make you crave the CW era. Because, it would take 22 hours of television to get there, but the finale generally would be good.
Hey, dog, look. Arrow Season 2 was the Deathstroke season, which was the best season.
Yeah. I would take that over this any day.
Absolutely. Easily.
Every motherfucking day of the week, twice on Sunday.
You know, someone pointed out online, and I completely forgot. I probably didn't even watch this far, but Vigilante was in the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I was like, oh, shit. He was, huh?
I think a lot of people jumped off the Arrowverse around...
Damien Dark.
Yeah, right around Damien Dark.
That's when I jumped off.
As much as I love that actor.
Yeah, Neil Madonna. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I have a photo with him. Neil McDonald is a great guy. Yeah. He's been in a lot of really cool shit. Yeah. He actually, he's in Suits. Oh. He plays a recurring guest role in Suits. Well, he's like a full-time character in the season where he pops up, I think. And then he's like a recurring character after that, recurring guest role. So
got it.
But he's a great character in that.
Well, unfortunately, that is where we have to leave Peacemaker for the time being. Hopefully, the next time we talk about him in any kind of serious capacity, it'll be better. So, we'll see. Gen V Season 2, we still have hope. Yeah.
I watched the most recent episode that came out. Not the one that came out this week, but the one that came out while I was in Florida. And I liked it. We got some cool information there, some very interesting reveals and whatnot. So
I have not seen it yet, but
I haven't watched this week's yet. I think I'm gonna wait and maybe binge the last 3 together. Yeah. Right before we review it, so it'll be fresh.
Right.
But I think that comes out on Wednesdays.
It does.
So
yeah,
we might have to do a Friday review for that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So next week, man, do we want to come back and with some Doomsday Clock on Wednesday?
Yeah, you mean the week that you come back from vacation because you're going to be out.
Oh, right. I'm going to be out next week.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will have finished it by the time I come back.
Excellent.
You're going to have to get on the phone and get some people over here.
Yeah, I have to before Junior tries to co-host, and that will be a nightmare.
Lucky for you, you can text Lauren now, and she'll have the shit read, whatever it is, by next week. Yeah,
I could have Lauren fucking Final Crisis and be like, have this read by next Wednesday.
She's going to come in here with a 3-ring binder of notes
Absolutely.
and questions and be like, what the fuck?
I mean, I'd be like, you could just ask that question, for the entirety.
You guys should just review Warbreaker while I'm gone.
Yeah, so I should read it for a fourth time, you think?
Give it a quick reread.
Yeah.
It's Lauren's favorite Cosmere book, so you guys
is it
just
really?
it is, yeah. So you
Oh.
guys can just pop right on in.
Yeah. Well, that'd be easy.
Yep.
Easy money. Yeah. Now, I would do that, but I would hate to review something Cosmere without you here.
Oh, will you just get Dylan on? He's always complaining he doesn't get to be on any of those.
He doesn't want to be on a Cosmere episode.
He does. He's enraged that he keeps getting brought on to review Batman Ninja and shit, but then we review like Mistborn without him.
Hey, what can I say? He's never brought it to my attention. Therefore, I don't know that.
Hey, I'll be honest, man. Previously, whenever him or Oz would be like, hey, I really want to come on the episode, like on the podcast, whenever you guys review the next Cosmere thing, I was like, fuck you, we have the assembled crew. But after that Saga review, I don't know. We might have to change up the roster a little bit. We might have to bounce with the Fantastic Four instead of the assembled group.
Oh, shit. We should switch it up one time where, like, the next Cosmere thing is the Fantastic Four group, but then the next, like, superhero movie that comes out, we get like the
assembled crew.
OGs, the assembled crew.
We damn near did that for Superman. We just didn't have Lauren.
That's true. Yeah.
So.
Superman and Sinners isn't a superhero movie because Blade's not in it.
Yeah. He was in Marvel Zombies though, So here we go. Blade Knight.
Well, homies, that's going to be it for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this review way more than you enjoyed the actual finale for Peacemaker Season 2.
I hope. And if not, we apologize.
Yeah, we apologize, But that's going to be all for this one. We will see you guys again very soon, though. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I'm Superhero Homie Caleb.